Hey everybody, welcome back to another daily high ELO casting, and again I do have Wobbles here.
AKA Eskimo as my league name.
Yes, or I use Eskimo, but I'm going to call him Wobbles forever because he will always be the wobbliest.
I'll be that in his heart.
Yeah, exactly. And in my soul.
Oh.
Aww, how cute. Anyway, this will be a very interesting game of Protect the Kog'Maw versus I really need to initiate on this Kog'Maw. I'm not sure exactly how well it's going to go out for the red team because the blue team has an amazing Protect the Kog'Maw. They have the stun from Xerath, the kick from Lee Sin, as well as the slows, the stun from Taric, the knockback from Jayce, and then that whole time where they're trying to fight through that just onslaught of CC and knockbacks, and just everything, Kog'Maw's just going to be wailing on them like it's nobody's business. So it's good for the red team that they were able to pick up the Nunu, though, because Nunu is the perfect combo with that Kog'Maw, because it will increase the Blood Boil from Nunu will increase his attack speed as well as his movement speed, but that's also really, really good for Ezreal. So they're going to be, red team's just going to be a machine when it comes to taking towers. The attack speed buff from Ezreal with a combination of all the Blood Boil as well as the other two melee champions, or three melee champions I have. It's just going to be, like, their entire team is basically melee except for Ezreal.
Alright, for the start of this game, we're seeing Taric. He's starting with boots rather than the typical mana regen off the fairy charm. Nunu's starting boots too. Do you expect to see a lot of early game aggression from Taric since purple team does not have a healer?
Yeah, you really do expect a lot of that, and the red team is really going in on trying to get a fling off, but they're not going to be able to do it because they don't know that the blue team is not even going to go for blue buff. Which is kind of surprising, because Lee Sin 9 times out of 10 will start at red buff just so he can get that early level 2 gank. Even though he is starting off on the blue side, a lot of them will still go red to get that level 2 gank in mid instead of getting the blue buff and then go for the level 2 gank at top.
Well, it's conceivable that purple team was expecting there to be someone guarding the blue, Volibear using the extra move speed buff before he flings so that he can go in around those blind corners and possibly catch someone off guard before they even manage to flash away. But yeah, we're going to see Udyr, Volibear, Diana, they're going to be picking up Lee Sin's wolves at the same time that Lee Sin's getting his raids.
And then the red team is also going to be protecting the blue buff. Yeah, they're just going to sit there and make sure it doesn't get stolen, which is a great job by the red team. They're able to have the coverage, making sure it doesn't get stolen as well, because Udyr can just rush over to the red buff if they think they're red buff, although I don't think there's any way they could have gotten it without being detected. But either way, it was still really, really solid play from the red team. And now top lane, I'm not really sure how this matchup's going to go, because I know anytime Volibear kind of charges in and tries to flip him back, Jayce can just go to his mace mode and just knock him back himself.
Or failing that, he can always throw up his gate, get the move speed buff. And
yeah, exactly.
by switching over to his ranged attack mode, he has a lot of free harass potential on Volibear, so we're going to see how that plays out. Volibear is not an extremely common pick right now, so it's definitely going to be interesting. Kog'Maw taking a little more damage than he needs to, but the stun, did he get a shatter? Oh, Ezreal is going to go down to the combination of Ignite and sheer damage output from Kog'Maw. They're standing it out and fighting Nunu. The Ice Blast goes down. He's going to get the kill, but at the same time, Taric, scumbag Taric, doesn't wait for the Kog'Maw passive to pick up the kill, and he goes for it himself.
Surprise could have easily picked up that kill, but I guess that gives Taric a little bit more leeway to pick up a pink ward or two, just to really secure this bottom brush on the enemy side as well as tri-brush.
And if he gets an early gold per 10, then that can be extremely beneficial for maintaining good ward coverage. But here we see Stvicious. Our Taric is a little caught out, and Stvicious is just going ham. He wants to pick up the kill. They both burn flashes, and the lack of flash on Taric is going to be advantageous for the purple team in their coming laning phase.
Definitely. They're going to be able to provide a lot more just raw sheer power. They're not going to be scared of that flash stun that you typically have to worry about when going against a Taric lane. So that'll be interesting. And Volibear going really, really low, but he does have the passive.
going to get the heal, but the Ignite coming in from Jayce as well. Ignite from Volibear.
14, 15.
Just barely manages to trade kills there. It's still a major disadvantage for Volibear because this massive creep wave is pushing up that he is going to lose out on. And we see that the creep score right now isn't so bad, 15 to 13, so it's not such a deficit, but it is a shame to lose out on that.
Definitely. And so far mid right now, it looks like Xerath is able to zone out Diana quite a bit, which is pretty expected since he just has such a long range. It's going to be almost impossible for Diana to even hit Xerath once he goes into looks to power and just kind of throws out his spells and farms. But now that she is level 4, she's going to be able to she's going to be able to kill those ranged minions with just like 1 or 2 Moonblades. Just extremely powerful, especially this early on.
Got the Dazzle coming in onto Ezreal, followed by the Shatter. He Arcane shifts away, but he's taking a lot of damage. This isn't beneficial to him considering that his lane mate is a Nunu. Taric's tanking the tower. He's got the heals. He'll be fine. He does have a bonus heal when he only casts it on himself, so he's going to be back up at full. And that's going to be a real shame for Ezreal, lacking the sustain because he has a Nunu.
That will definitely propose a problem, but I'm really interested to see Ezreal going really hard into the paint. I'm not sure that was a good idea.
Oh, he wanders right into the middle of them. We're not seeing exceptional positioning ability from Ezreal. It's entirely possible he's underestimating the damage. Sometimes that happens, but that Shatter combo, along with the bonus magic damage from Kog'Maw's W, there's no way to itemize against it at this point in the game.
Is the Bear Sting going to come out? It doesn't look like it will actually land.
There's little benefit to being Xerath against a character like Udyr. When he goes into his Locust and then he comes out, he does get a brief move speed buff, and since we know Udyr's flash is down from that skirmish in bottom lane, it's going to give Xerath a little more survivability. But right now, low on mana, low on health, he's not going to enjoy laning against Diana right
especially
now.
Since Diana just pinged 6. She might go in here with her ulti. Yes, she is. Oh!
Flashes right outside of the Moonwell, and yeah, she did an excellent job of getting in range with the blade, then walking right out of range of the tower as it connected. Oh, we have a gank coming down. We're going to rewind a little to take a better look. Udyr coming down through Tribush. The stun goes down onto Nunu. Kog'Maw is looking to engage hard. The exhaust goes down onto Udyr from Taric, and they manage to pick up the kill on Nunu. Udyr is doing a lot of work onto Taric, but he is right in the middle of the minions, and Kog'Maw does a lot of damage. Udyr getting creep blocked. He has the pink ward in there. If he can get one more hit now, there it goes. Kog'Maw making a lot of money off of that little exchange.
Yeah, and feeding a Kog'Maw early, especially, I mean, it's only 6, not even quite 7 minutes yet. He has 4 kills already. He's going to be an absolute monster. I mean, he's already a monster, technically, but
we have Lee Sin coming in, getting the cripple onto Diana off of the Tempest, but he decides not to overextend it. He knows she has a lot of damage, and it didn't really look like he was going to be able to pick up the kill.
She just doesn't have the mana right now. If he was level 6, he could definitely initiate onto her and probably pick up that kill with his ultimate, but he just wasn't quite level 6 yet. He's not even quite halfway there.
And I'm still not familiar with the terminology on Diana's abilities. If we can highlight her real quick so I can learn the names and not feel like such a scrub.
So we have Luna Rush as our ultimate. Moonfall is the spell that kind of just brings everybody in.
Majestic Roar from Diana.
Yes. The Pale Cascade is the shield that she puts on herself. And
Alright.
Oh no. What's going on? Oh,
Alright, we have a brief engage going on to Volibear off the gate and the switch. But really, he's just looking to put down some damage. If he can proc Volibear's passive and then harass him a little more before going in hard again, he's not going to have to worry about trying to tower dive through a massive barrage of healing.
Yeah, and Ezreal was actually disconnected for a while. I didn't see the disconnect menu.
We have Udyr coming up in to top lane off of the Volibear fling. Udyr is going to try and get in there. There is an Ignite onto Jayce. He's got just a tiny little damage left. Can he outpace the Udyr move speed buff from Bear Stance? Is he going to be able to? Diana's also coming in. He gets the gate, but he's not able to run through it because Diana's coming from that direction. He switches stances, knocks Udyr away, but Diana gets her ultimate, the Lunar Rush, right on top of him. And that actually...
He did actually hit the tip of that gate, just the very, very tip, and then went this way.
Right. At the same time, we missed Lee Sin coming in for a gank on bottom, and that picked up a Nunu kill, and the underleveled Ezreal also died as well.
Go back just a little bit. And this is probably... Oh, he actually came completely from the back.
Yeah, he came completely from the tower into the ultimate kick, straight into the Taric Dazzle. Rather nice combination of abilities. Meanwhile, we've got a little more action going down in mid with Stvicious attacking Xerath. Nothing's going to come of it. He looks like he wants to give his blue to Diana, and she does, in fact, get it. Lee Sin finds himself cornered by Stvicious' Udyr, but he manages to flash away and get out. Is he going to get the bear stance? Yes, he does. Another kill for Stvicious. 2-1-1, 51 CS. He's doing rather well for himself. The pink ward, they know there's no vision on Dragon, so they're going to go straight for that. And Nunu's caught out again. He's ulting to try and keep Kog'Maw out. Are they going to pick up Dragon? Diana's ended up tanking it right now. Udyr gets it with his smite, but it looks like, are they going to be able to corner Diana? She does end up going down. Kog'Maw gets another kill. Very scary. Andy has a blue buff. That's going to be a nightmare for anybody who tries to fight him. And Nunu wanders right into the living artillery. That blue buff is going to be a massive pain for red team to deal with.
Yeah, if he wasn't already threatening enough, that blue buff is really going to push him over the edge for that duration of the blue buff. I'm not sure if he spec'd into utility or if he went into defense. I can actually check that right now. Looks like he might just have the masteries. Or yeah, he does quite a bit of cooldown reduction. He definitely went into utility a little bit. So that'll help him with the extra duration on all of those buffs. And especially if he picks up red buff the same time when it does spawn, I don't think there's anything... I mean, if Ezreal couldn't do anything right now as it is, he's really not going to be able to do anything. And as you can see, Ezreal's really going after those...
Diana doing an excellent job of dodging Xerath's abilities in that tiny skirmish at mid. We've got Lee Sin wanting to come in and put an end to a reign of terror. Nunu wanders in, hits the snowball right onto Lee Sin. Takes a lot of damage from Diana's Q, but doesn't quite manage to go down. Taric hits the Dazzle. He's going to go Shatter Radiance. Xerath manages to connect with the stun. An Ignite going down onto her, another ultimate. And now we have Udyr coming in from above. Not really sure who they wanted to go for right there. The snowball going on to Xerath. Udyr switching targets, and right now Nunu's caught out straight in the middle of the lane. He's going to go down. Lee Sin safeguarding over to Xerath. Manages to barely survive, and Jayce coming in from the trees. He's coming from above. He wants to pick up Udyr. Udyr has that Oracle. Dropping him right now would be a huge benefit. And Stvicious is thinking the exact same thing, going on to Udyr. Not 100% sure if that's wise. Udyr is a scary man-bear pig. He can escape. He just has to make sure he doesn't eat another Dazzle, and he is not going to go down. So those two Oracles preserved.
I don't think Taric saw that acceleration gate or expected it to go down, because I think he might have been able to pick up an extra Dazzle, and they might have been able to take down an Oracle, which would have definitely been worth it. An Oracle basically puts a giant target of your head, and if you are able to take out the opponent's team Oracle, that instantly gives you a 400 gold advantage, that an unseen 400 gold advantage, because they did spend 400 gold on that Oracle, and most people don't realize how important it is to get rid of the Oracle. I mean, it saves you gold on wards, as well as getting rid of that 400 gold that you used to spend.
Nunu wandering into blue team territory, looking to lay down a ward, but he gets picked up by Lee Sin and Taric, and Xerath manages to actually get a piece of that Nunu pie. He gets a little bit of damage on there.
Just a little bit. That's all I needed, though. Just getting the assist is just gonna, help him smooth out the gold difference between everybody on the team, because there isn't much of a difference besides Kog'Maw. Everybody else is kind of hovering around the same 3,500 area.
Oh, we have Jayce eating a 3-man tower dive up there. Not much to say about it when two bruisers and Diana want you dead. I feel like your main option is just to die.
The fact that he was able to pick up a kill on that on the way out was extremely good.
Especially since, as we mentioned, it went on to Stvicious. Oh, we have the Flash Dazzle coming in. The Chain Stun coming from Xerath. Lee Sin picking it up. Volibear is pretty low health. Manages to juke the Xerath ultimate and the Lee Sin attack, but he does get kicked off the tower. He goes in to try and polish off Taric. They drop an Oracle off Taric, and that's going to help return the favor. Nunu taking a lot of damage right now. He is particularly weak compared to several members of the blue team. Lee Sin, hero that he is just going to go for the tower dive, but he takes a lot of damage. Nunu picking up the ward gold while he's still alive. We go for the ultimate. Unfortunately, Lee Sin not taking enough damage from the tower, And he manages to live with the combination of Resonating Strike and Safeguard to pick up the kill and
It's
barely
actually a
leap away.
flash at the end. He just went in and then just flashed her right back out. He wasn't even taking aggro from the tower, so the flash was definitely not necessary because Xerath was taking the tower. So really good team play by the Xerath, knowing that Lee Sin wanted the kill and he had a good opportunity since Xerath was missing all of his skill shots on the Nunu. Except for when he's standing still doing his absolute zero, but it's pretty difficult to miss at that point in time.
All right, professional opinion time. Do you think Red Team has a chance to get back in this game?
It looks like they stopped trying, to be honest. I think after it's possible, but the fact that it seems like they stopped trying or they're either extremely demoralized, but either way, I really just think they stopped trying at this point. And they're just kind of.
We have Nunu getting caught out again over in the jungle. The combination of Taric and Kog'Maw once again proving too much for the Yeti. He is up to 8 deaths. And those are cases.
Taric actually taking that kill. Lee Sin's able to pull out the lead onto the kills of the game, picking up more, or actually the same amount of kills that the entire red team has, which is very intimidating for the red team. They don't even want to worry about that, but even with all of his kills, he still only has 4,500 gold.
We have Xerath coming in from the river. The combination of Jayce's CCs. They're going to ignite Volibear as his passive starts going up, and he is just going to go down. Bear hunting successful. Stuff him. Put him in the blue team Nexus. Talk about him when guests come over. And we have more action going down. Lee Sin up another kill now. Manages to pick up the kill on Diana. Taric's Dazzle onto Udyr. He has Merc Treads. It's not as big of a deal, but the chain stun from Xerath does go out. Another Dazzle. Lee Sin slowed on the tower. Doesn't want to keep fighting. Backs out.
The strong thing about Lee Sin, it's like a strong and weak thing. Once Lee Sin's early game to mid game is incredibly strong, but he falls off very hard if he doesn't do surprisingly well in the early or mid game. And since he's doing extraordinarily well in the early and mid game, he's going to be really difficult to deal with later on in the game, even if they even get to that point in the game, because I don't think they will. It's probably going to be relatively close to a 20-minute surrender.
Well, right now they're sitting on a level 7 Ezreal. Between his disconnects and his deaths, he's at level 7. Nunu's been in the game the whole time, but everywhere he goes, someone is there to counteract him. A little bit of action going top lane. Volibear into the fling. Nunu with the full ultimate going down. Is Nunu going to drop to Jayce, though? Jayce is pretty strong. He doesn't get the kill. Consume's going to heal him up so he doesn't die. They're the overpowered blue siege minion. And Xerath with a nice, impressive snipe from behind the bushes.
Really good snipe.
I think that was completely blind, since it looked like he was actually out of the brush.
Well, he threw down his ultimate. His ultimate gives vision.
Oh, it does?
Briefly, yeah.
I'm not an experienced Xerath player, but I know that now.
Yeah, so it gives a little brief bit of vision. Since he is able to cast it 3 times, that's all I needed, and it just so happened that he did hit him with it as well. So that was just an excellent play by Xerath, being able to get into that looks to power and just throwing out his ultimate.
Alright, we have Lee Sin going ham onto Udyr, but we have Volibear going to pick up the fling, throw him back into the tower with good positioning. Is Lee Sin going to go down? He does. The combination of the bite and the Udyr power is enough to drop him, but it doesn't matter because Udyr and Volibear falling to the might of Xerath, Kog'Maw, and the support from Taric. He's been on point, picking the right targets with his dazzles, and always seeming to have it up at exactly the right time that he needs it. Really excellent bottom lane work from blue team, although they do have Ezreal to thank. Truth be told, he wandered into some things. I'm not even going to comment on Diana getting blown up because, wow, she manages
picks up the kill.
She manages to pick up the Xerath with that sudden dash and the ignite combo.
Kog'Maw's just absolutely tearing through this Nunu. Actually misses the ultimate, flashes over the wall to get that last auto attack that he needed.
He started walking away there. I'm pretty sure he anticipated it just connecting.
It looked really close. I was actually mildly surprised it didn't hit. And the red buff is just absolutely ripping through. Gets flung into the tower.
Is Kog'Maw going to go down? He gets eaten up by the giant bear. He's going to try and run from the Acathian surprise. He's not that fast, but he does have a lot of health.
And at this point, Ezreal, the AD carry on the red team, actually has less gold than everybody on the blue team. And that is just embarrassing when the person that's supposed to be the most fed on your team is the least fed in the entire game.
Yeah, absolutely. The combination of disconnects and getting wrecked by the Taric Kog'Maw combo, really, really devastating. I'm anticipating a 20-minute surrender, quite frankly. He's still level 7, and his lane opponent Kog'Maw is level 13. He has almost 3 times his creep score at 20 minutes in. Just that alone is enough reason to quit, let alone a 9-2 Lee Sin.
Yeah, there's not real. I don't think there's any real chance of that coming back. If he was farming well and they were somewhat close in gold, I mean, it's 20 minutes in and they're almost behind 10k now at this point, and that's just way too much. And yeah,
excellent Nunu ult. I cannot fathom how blue team managed to get out of that one.
Great job zoning. I mean, he did prevent them from pushing, I guess, but he did not actually get a creep wave with the absolute zero. So I don't know if that was the best use of it.
We have a little action going on in the jungle. Lee Sin putting in a lot of hurt onto Diana. Xerath's Ignite going to take her down, take her out. A lot of damage going on to Nunu. The sheer DPS from Lee Sin is massive. He gets the safeguard on the ward into the auto attack. That's going to pick him up. Volibear trying to finish Lee Sin. He has a lot of sustain, but Volibear is moving. He's attacking. He's quite a hungry bear. He hits the Majestic Roar. He's going to keep trying to put damage on.
Oh, and in the meantime, blue team actually takes down Baron, and this is going to be very surprising for the red team since they just randomly saw. Oh, and that again, that is the 20-minute surrender that we were expecting. So very unfortunate. I really wanted to see a little bit better of a game, but with your AD carry constantly disconnecting and reconnecting, there's not too much you can do. He was just so far behind. He tried to buy those Doran's plates to have some form of a presence in mid game, but he kept disconnecting and there was nothing he could do.
It is entirely possible that some of those positioning flubs that we saw from him wandering straight into the maw of Taric and Kog'Maw might have had something to do with lag or disconnects.
Yeah, that's very possible.
So let's be fair to Ezreal.
Yeah, it's not something that people especially Chaseonfireeeee, I've casted a few of his games before, and he's not typically
a feeder.
He plays better than that. He's not. This is high level ELO. Everyone's around 2200 at least, and so doing plays like that is definitely something they know not to do when you're going against a Kog'Maw Taric. You definitely don't want to feed that combo, especially once he already had 2 or 3 kills and he did the same thing over and over again, and then just kept constantly disconnecting. Overall, it was just it was a wonderful game, but red team just had a significant disadvantage because of that.
Indeed they did. Well, hopefully the next one's going to be a little bit more, a little bit closer. More of a game.
Yes.
Less of a bot stomp.
That would be wonderful. So
we want to give a shout out to Volibear, though, for being still pretty mighty even in the face of overwhelming odds.
6-4-1, even with all the problems that his entire team had. He really kept in there. He was still trying. He was doing like a 2v1, 3v1, and almost came out ahead until he saw Baron buff, and then he was like, I can't do this anymore, so he had to run away. But he was able to pick up a couple kills, and that was definitely just a great overall job. And just people like that don't give up in solo queue. That's how they get to the level that they're at, because there's always something to learn from solo queue. I mean, at solo queue, you're playing by yourself. Yes, it's a team game, but you're still playing by yourself. You need to improve yourself on every game. Even if you're stomping them or they're stomping you, there's always something to learn, and that's what people need to understand.
At the very least, you can take the opportunity, practice your mechanics, practice your last hit, your positioning in team fights, play a hopeless team fight to the best of your ability, and then you never know, the next game where it hinges on your performance, with that kind of attitude, you'll be able to swing it in your favor.
Exactly. It's just like the people that do practices against like 2 or 3 people, and I mean, they'll lose every time, but they'll have that practice, so if it does come up, it's possible that, the 2 people he goes up against are just not as talented as the people he's been practicing against. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and try to find another game, and we'll see you guys in a minute.